300 million Americans with a new worry, as though we need a new worry, right? A very real threat of identity theft.
Records of more than 300 million Americans are at risk of being hacked or leaked. This is coming from a decorated U.S. Navy veteran who's currently the chief data officer at the Social Security Administration.
I want to jump into a very crucial CNN segment on something that I think is getting overlooked in the cycle, how DOGE was in fact the security risk that we on the left warned it would be, on top of being the massive failure we all now know it was. So leave us a like on the video if you can. It helps us out a bunch. It gives us a boost in the algorithm. It's let us grow to over 20,000. We want to get to 30, 40, 50, 100,000. So smash that like button and let's get right to the discussion.
You may be one of more than 300 million Americans with a new worry, as though we need a new worry, right? A very real threat of identity theft. A whistleblower inside the Social Security Administration says DOGE workers created a copy of records with highly sensitive information and a vulnerable cloud server.
Okay, let's stop there briefly because this is actually insane. It not only puts every American at risk on like a domestic threat level, but America at large at a security risk. I mean, just imagine if Russia or China hacked us and got a hold of this information. They were able to do so with like servers and things pertaining to the election. I mean, is it too far to fathom? This is why you don't have unexperienced clowns come in and run the government, ooh, just because they're rich. Like it didn't work for Trump, it didn't work for Elon. Both have now destroyed our country. When are we going to learn, right? I hope going forward at least. It begs the question also why Elon needed a copy anyway if the information already existed and he's just supposed to be helping the government. Why did he have the authority to make a copy and what might he have done with other potential copies that are floating around? Who's to say he didn't leave the government with one? Should he have one? Why don't we raid his house and find out? Party of merit, by the way, guys. Coming to fix the incompetent Biden cabinet's mess, by the way, guys. Only to have now leaked classified battle plans and possibly all of our social security numbers. Is this what greatness feels like? Are we making America great again, y'all?
Because of who the whistleblower is. This is not coming from some low-level agency employee. This is coming from a decorated U.S. Navy veteran who's currently the chief data officer at the Social Security Administration. The other thing that's stunning here is just the scope here. The whistleblower is warning that the records of more than 300 million Americans are at risk of being hacked or leaked. And this data includes everything from people's names and birthdays, their parents' names, social security numbers, citizenship status, and their addresses. Now, the whistleblower, Charles Borges, warns that should bad actors gain access to this cloud environment, Americans may be susceptible to widespread identity theft. They may lose vital healthcare and food benefits, and the government may be responsible for reissuing every American a new social security number at a great cost.
What is the comparable act from Biden? Like, I have to know for MAGA. I would love MAGA to comment anyone because MAGA claimed Biden's cabinet was DEI. So either you're lying because you're racist fucks, or you can tell me the comparable action. There's no other outcome. And DEI leads to less qualified hires, right? So Biden's cabinet had to be less qualified. Well, okay, then compared to Trump's historically white cabinet that erased DEI from the federal government, what's the comparable action to Trump putting over 300 million Americans at risk of identity theft? Oh, there isn't one? I didn't think so. I'm glad that not only someone came forward, but someone distinguished, high-ranking, and credible. That way MAGA can't easily write this off as fake news. Obviously, many will still try because they'll, of course, choose Trump even over their personal and highly sensitive information. Like, as long as they don't genuinely get identity theft, they'll be like, yeah, we weren't even really a threat. It was fake news. And then if they did, they'll probably be like, oh, Biden left the servers open or something stupid.
Now, the Social Security Administration has responded by saying they take all whistleblower complaints seriously. And they say that they securely store personal data. They also say that this particular data is walled off from the internet and they're unaware of any compromise. Of course, the whistleblower is suggesting that there is a real risk of compromise and that this is anything but safe. Pamela, the bottom line, We knew DOGE was taking this move fast and break things attitude to the federal government. And each day we're learning more and more about the potential consequences of that.
And for me, I hope this starts to wake up Americans on both sides of the aisles. The ignorance is there on both sides, definitely a lot more with conservatives, but waking them up as to how crucial and important the federal government is on a like sincerely mundane level, right? Like things that we overlook because of like, what does it really matter? But like you start pulling little cogs away and we see how damaging it could be. And yes, I want to be clear, the government does waste money, not where DOGE was looking, not where Trump was looking, but they do waste money. Yes, they are not where they should be in terms of efficiency. There's plenty more the government should and could be doing. But these problems are largely issues because of Republicans, right? And on the flip side, because we only have one party that wants the government to work efficiently, and we can see the government doing these mundane everyday duties that largely keep our world spinning that we take for granted. Free public roads from public roads to bridges, mail delivery, our child's education, more, right? And we're seeing the effects of even the smallest little tinkering that Trump and Republicans are doing to this, having massive everyday effects on Americans' lives, showing how if Trump was able to take the acts that he wanted, it would leave us incapacitated as a society. Like small government is a failure, right? This is why it's never worked anywhere abroad. But now we're seeing even the smallest implications of it. And it's like, no, thank you, which we should thank Trump for. If we're going to thank him for anything, it's that. Like, how would we build roads? We'd have a toll on every block. How would we do education, mail, etc.? Try to ship something 25 pounds by USPS and UPS. And you tell me if you want your grandma to foot the bill of her having to privatize her monthly medicine shipments. It's all the lunacy, right? They're relying on ignorance to pass this lunacy and gain support for it. But that's why more Americans need to wake up to the truth.